Here, can you hear me?
Hey, asking we shall receive.
There's people
Yay.
I'm sorry, guys. I did my best. I thought it was earlier than it was, really.
It's okay.
And
You're
I will.
fine. I just mentioned where the hell is Super Dad?
She did. She did. Did you want to start recording?
Yes. Give me 1 second.
Oh, I was going to record too.
Here,
Okay.
Lisa.
Yes. Thank goodness you did that last time.
This person, Lisa.
Okay, yeah.
Where is?
And I'll take it off. All right.
There we go. All right. Recording.
All right.
Okay. How are you guys?
Like I'm kind of brain dead after putting things into a database and then having to go back and with a fine tooth comb and double check my work before we send it over to the local government.
What did you do? What are you talking about?
It's a tax foreclosure list.
Okay.
So I'm in title insurance, so I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah.
Not to mention full moon burnt.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, here it's covered in white milky sky again, all sprayed and.
Oh, I watched Mike last night, Tom. It's
Mhm.
all the way from me to you.
It is. I know.
Yeah.
It's insane, And we had, I guess it was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of rain to, it was 30 degrees last week. They had the temperature was up to 63 degrees by like Monday or Tuesday. And it was this misty rain where I know it was snowing all above us and around us. And then finally today we get this blue sky and I look out the window and it looks blue and I get all excited and I look out the other side and they are just spraying like there's no tomorrow. And, like you said, in comes the next one, all spray. They never stop. Never
Oh, it's the
stop.
whole eastern seaboard. I mean, I don't understand how people. Did you not watch the weather 20 years ago? That just did
Right?
not happen.
No. A
And
storm
there
from.
certainly wasn't an eye in the middle of it.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I said that to my wife. I said, it feels like we're in the eye of a tornado, how warm and stupid. It got sunny and then it got raining again. Like, it's just, it was such a dumb storm. And you know what else as well? I mean, along with that comes this screaming pain in the back of my neck. My wife's head was pounding. And, all of a sudden it clicked. I said, well, of course it is. They're got to be using all
I'm
kind
going
of
to
stuff.
show you, if I can have permission to show you something on the screen share.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine with me.
Oh, I think you have to click at least. Do you have to click it?
Oh, I do?
I think I can do it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought everyone could do it.
Oh, okay.
I want to.
Yeah, go for it, sir. I don't. I've never. Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, check this out.
Mm-hmm.
This is utility fog. Okay.
Bigger than most.
It's a little robot called a foglet that consists of human-sized cell device. It's bigger than most nanotech. Swarms of foglets is called utility fog. It can simulate any environment, enables creation, levitation, manipulation, teleportation, and shape shifting. This is part of the Internet of Things.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a current. This is what I think they're mixing in with our old stuff, and why it seems so much more intense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense because you think, well, it's depressing. 3 days of rain. It's not 3 days of rain. It's like you said, this fog, this mist, and then it's downpour, and then this feeling of just kind of not being in the greatest of moods for no reason. You know what I mean?
Heavy, very heavy.
Yes, yes, that's
otherworldly almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I have a guy, and I'll share this once I find it. But one of my fellow targeted individuals got a night camera, and he caught this stuff swirling around his. Here it is. His front door.
Mm-hmm.
And I got in touch with him and I said, could it be this, Jimmy? And here, I'm going to show y'all this. This is somebody I've we've been following each other on Twitter for a long time. Can you see it?
Yep.
Mm-hmm,
Yep.
Look at the way this stuff is moving, and that's not snow. It's not snowing at the time.
Yeah, I see it. It looks like
Yeah.
the same. I happen to just be looking through YouTube the one day, and
Mhm.
there was a video that Richie from Boston happened to do, who I don't really watch that often, but the title of the video caught my eye, that there was
Right.
all this chafe in the atmosphere, or in the air.
I saw your tweet on that.
Yeah, did you see the spider web things? And
Yes.
Ew. Yes.
mm, I mean,
Seriously, this is so disgusting. And people, it's like, oh, it's okay. It's like, no, it's not okay.
we're breathing this shit.
I know.
Oh,
Yeah. And I
And
don't know how much research you guys have done. I think Richie from Boston's starting to talk about it more in the last 6 months, but the plasma
yeah, yeah.
that, you know, and I told you I watched Mike Morales last night, and it's half of the world is covered in this stuff.
It really is. It's almost amazing to think, how can they do that? But when you do watch Mike, you'll see how they put the bunker fuel ships out there on each side. I mean, there was a couple of them on our side, Sarah, on the
Yeah,
Atlantic.
it reminds me of like trying to stitch fabric together. It's
Hmm.
like they're trying to stitch the their different spray operations together.
Yeah, yeah. It's just right in front of everybody. And that's what gets so depressing at times, because, like I said, I try not to be, annoyed all the time and angry all the time, and then you see that, and it's difficult. I don't know how these new agers who don't, kind of care about what's going on and think, I don't know how they walk out and see this, and they're just like, oh,
it's all love and light, Tom. Don't you know? All love and lights. All love and lights. Yay.
Well, they do care, but what they're doing is they're getting misled.
Mm-hmm.
With Miss
Yep.
Greta what's her name? Thornburg or
yeah.
Oh, Greta Thunberg.
Yeah, the
Thunberg.
Time
Thunberg.
magazine
which
of
I'm
the
not
year.
blaming the child. She's a child.
Yep.
But
Yep.
she's been placed there for that purpose so that it's harder to criticize.
She is being so exploited as this, and it's a shame for her, because, like you said, she's a child, and all she knows is what she's been taught,
Right.
And
Which makes a perfect puppet.
absolutely, and then God forbid, you try to speak against what she's saying. Now you're attacking the child. They personalize it. They know exactly what they're doing and how they're doing
Of course.
it. I mean, they've been doing the same thing for years. I mean, you can see
So that's how they're they've created this climate change with their various and sundry methods. I mean, with the Tesla tech, the earthquake generator is small enough to fit in a jacket pocket.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is what we know of. Like you said, imagine what we don't know of. This is just toys they put out there for us to talk about. They have things that we can't even think about,
Well, you guys, I don't know how much you've looked at the old Egyptian tech.
Mhm.
We talked about that a little bit,
Hmm.
but this has literally been done before.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it really has, and to me, I guess that's why when you really see the big picture, you can just see the step-by-step progression, which, like you said, I guess, people who are tuned into a different perception based on whatever they want to ignore do not see. But to me, I don't know how people don't see it. It's, you have people calling the stock market the day before because they know what they're going to do. You have people calling the countries they're going to attack because we have all these documents and things telling us what they're going to do. And people just continue to pretend it's 5D and 3D chess. Did you notice, I happened to catch even, they have Trump now attacking Greta Thunberg. So now you'll see the villainization of all the I mean, you see how they're dividing everybody. It's just
I had to run a MAGA person off my tweet, No, this is not an invitation for you to drool over here.
Yeah, and again, the people that can't see that by now, I just, what more does this guy have to not do to get you to realize that nothing has changed and it has moved forward? I said to someone, what did I say? I guess it was yesterday we were talking about I was playing. I always try to do, game time with the kids, and they still do it even in their teenage years. They even bring friends over. So it was categories again, and something was one of the questions. I forget what it was about a Nobel Peace Prize, and somebody brought up Obama, or maybe it was cranium. What the hell we were playing, but whatever.
Yeah.
And I brought up the fact that the only person to drop more bombs than that guy. Uh-oh. Did we lose you?
Hi, Sarah. I can hear you.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay, I'm back.
I can hear you fine. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you, hon.
But I just, the only person that dropped more bombs than Obama is Trump. So what do you not see? I just don't get it. And that can be proxy armies, that can be, paid, whatever, however, between the weather warfare in, Lebanon and whatever they do to stay in Syria, like people can't see it's just all connected and all the same.
Well,
Whether
Tom,
it's
did you see where I do believe he just passed a law to where any what's the word I'm looking for? You can't speak against Jews.
Anti-Semitism.
Anti-Semitism, yeah.
Anti-Semitism.
Well, let me read a quote real quick from Albert Pike, and this is from 1871. I got to thinking about you talking about Iran. This is very important that people understand. This has been planned since at least 1871.
Sure, absolutely.
The Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agentur of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim, Arabic, and the political Zionism, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other.
Yep.
And that's what what we're seeing being played out.
The first time I ever heard that quote was out of David Icke's mouth, So, funnily enough, like I said, it's been out there for people to just look at and realize it's happening all around them, but people still pretend it's random and for the good of everything, and the good guys are in government and they're going to fix things.
Well, why is there a statue of him, erected in Washington, D.C.?
Sure.
It's random. I mean,
yep.
That's what's so maddening.
Yep.
Did you hear about the UN talking about coming in and into our countries, like we've been telling everybody about for how many years? On the auspices of climate change.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. There's an academic surprise, especially promoting that. I forgot where it's from, but it was it was from last week or the week before where I saw that article.
And how many years now have people been reporting again that this climate change agenda is the backbone to global government? It is the resource control that, and here now we're bringing troops in, talking about foreign troops.
Yeah. And the thing is, Agenda 21, when I first woke up, it was the first thing I really glommed onto. It's guys. I mean, this is this.
Yep. Everything's
this was
2013,
2012, 2013. It's hello.
Yeah.
But then, Lisa, remember this. I remember being on Twitter one day and I felt like I had my hand smacked by the teacher's ruler again.
Oh.
I was tweeting about Agenda 21, like you do. We've done that, all the time. And one day it became Agenda 2030. And it was like, oh, we don't call it that anymore. Well, who the hell is we?
Yeah.
And we really kind of got steered, if you think about it, away from 21 to 2030.
Yeah.
And now what we see is them leading right up to 21.
Yeah. All in the name of sustainability. It's,
Well, the weather war is off the charts.
Yeah.
Ever since February, when they put the AI in charge and made it completely autonomous and electronic, I mean, everybody's noticed the escalation since then. I know they have.
Yeah, people that I don't want to say have made fun of, but more busted my chops, I guess, about that have now just on Sunday saying, "Are you seeing this? Are you seeing that?" And again, I'm like, yeah, I am. Christ,
like I said,
my seeing this and that. Come on,
Nah.
there's so much of that right now to where I could just shake people sometimes.
Yes, it's like I mean, I'm happy that they're seeing it, but it's like they act surprised, and but again,
they're telling you something, and
well,
you're like,
right,
huh?
they're bringing news. It's like, oh, what do you got? Oh, look at this. Wait a minute. But again, it does make it easier, though. I will say, with like you said, more people are kind of seeing it because at least now. Whereas before, most of the people would just be like, "Oh, they're controlling the whole weather." Like they just couldn't comprehend how they could do that. Um, but when the sky's pure white with no clouds in it every day for 6 days in a row, people are going, "What the hell is going on here?"
Yeah, and half a state burns to the ground, and
Yeah.
half of Australia's on damn fire, and
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed they're flooding the hell out of Africa.
Yes.
Parts of Africa.
Yes. I saw Carol do something on that.
Parts of India, I think, and
Yep.
oh,
even again, Lebanon and in parts of Israel, even like
right.
flooding rains in the desert. It's really insane what they're doing. And
Professor Weaver.
I wonder what would happen if they turned everything off tomorrow and stopped spraying. What kind of tailspin the Earth would go into to actually fix itself? Because we have messed this up as a species so badly. Because they've really been doing this for decades, if you think about it.
Well, I mean, as a species, yes. In our ignorance, yes. But there is a small group of people who have exploited it.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And they're the ones who are reaping the benefits while pointing their fingers at the 99%, 99.9%, and going, "Oh, you're this and that." Well, who sold that to them? Who owns all these companies? Who made the media tell you needed a 2-car garage?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You are with your fingers in our faces. You don't own a damn one of your companies.
Yeah.
We're not Johnson and Johnson. We're not Raytheon. We're not Monsanto. You are.
Exactly. And people, I don't know how they like you said, it's a clever ruse, but I again often wonder how many people really, we see all the people they're putting in front of us on the TV and the Twitters and the bots but most people you talk to, they're like, yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, well, they just came out. I think it was The Guardian. What's that guy's name at The Guardian? Get his name.
Glenn Greenwald?
Who?
Glenn Greenwald?
Yes.
Okay.
He just did an article about what we have known for years, that quote unquote trolls are trained psychological agents.
Duh.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, fucking duh.
Well, we were just talking about that. So I was like, well, that's pretty nifty. But, because it was like backup, because I was just telling some people, oh, that's a troll. I said, let's call them what they really are. Turncoat, traitorous bitches, psyop agents.
Yeah, on a mission.
I'm tired of going, they're trolls. That's kind of cute. A troll lives under a bridge. These are trained. This is your military turned against you, period.
Yep.
And you can even really notice who's real, because they know how to try to manipulate people into having an argument. They demean them, and then I love the line, "Oh, explain this," and then when they say this ought to be good, like they're baiting people into like you just look at it.
And the more subtle the method of just ever so slightly swaying your conversation,
and nudging it.
That one really pisses me off. But I'll tell you, the one thing that I hate the worst is come under my tweet and put the word source and a question mark.
Yes.
Straight with your ass.
Yes. Yeah, while they got to, they had to go on the internet to type that so they couldn't check what you're saying themselves, They want you to do it.
Don't sprain your finger. Don't
Right.
break a sweat.
And then if you do have the decency to send them something, all they do then is degrade the whole thing. And,
Yep.
so it's just a
Right.
waste
Yep.
of time. It's all,
It absolutely is.
It's
And
all
then
bullshit.
Mhm.
and you've got people who are mental midgets to a degree. And if they can put the least bit of doubt about you, it's that whole thing to where, oh well, maybe she's not right.
Yep. Yep. It's what it's
So,
all about, It's
but I
just,
had Tom, I thought about you. It was this meme this guy put up this week, and I died. I literally almost peed myself. A picture of Paul Revere, okay? Paul Revere's on his horse. The British are coming. The British are coming. And the guy runs up to the horse and he goes, "Source."
Oh, I have to find that meme. That's spectacular.
I'll send it to you.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, I told that guy, I said, "No, that's effing funny."
That's great. See, I don't know. That is the one thing I do find in all this. I do try to find the humor because, as I said last week, it is so fucking
I
stupid.
mean, just imagine somebody coming up to old Paul Revere
Yeah.
talking about, "Can I get your source on that, Paul?"
Source,
I don't know about that.
and old Paul would give him his source, which is also known as his fist, straight to his face.
Yeah,
Just saying. He would code breaker that dude.
Yeah,
He knew
right.
what that was. He knew what that was.
But it is. I mean, that is the comparison of what we're
But
facing
they're
now.
literally in our face telling us they're taking our democracy down.
Yeah.
That's what I just couldn't believe. I'm like, are you people not seeing this?
Yeah.
I mean, I know we don't live in a true democracy.
Right.
We're not truly free.
Mhm.
But good gracious, we got a lot of room to go to where it can be worse.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And they're trying to squeeze it, to be worse.
Well, I noticed, I had appealed to people, hey, don't be so polarized. They're setting you up to go against each other and eat each other.
Mhm.
Well, this person from some other country is like, yeah, maybe that's why they want to take your guns. I said, whoa, ho, ho, ho. First of all, I'm talking to my fellow Americans. We don't need your damn opinion. Not on this.
Right. You've already given up your guns.
Right. And we're not giving up ours. I'm just making sure they don't get turned on one another.
Agreed, because that's the plan. That's always the plan.
Waste of bullets, A.
Yep.
And B, a waste of your only army.
Absolutely. And it's what they're driving for,
Yeah, so it's just so sticky out there right now. Don't you guys agree?
Absolutely.
I agree.
Yep. Absolutely. And I knew, I guess, the turning point wouldn't be easy. And
Right.
I know both things are going on simultaneously. And I just, I'm trying my best to just, like Max Egan would say, no stake in the outcome, but there is a stake in the outcome. That's why we came here. You know what I mean? So,
As much as I like Max and whatnot,
mhm.
I
Yeah, look, that's you know what, Sarah. It's funny you say that because that's how I am with pretty much everybody of those guys that I listen to. I listen, but
I love the plain truth. I mean, I shared his stuff all the time, but I told y'all once I figure out a few things to where it's obvious and you're doing all this research, but you're not telling us this part, it's getting more and more obvious how misled we've been.
Yeah,
And my patience with it's running out.
Well,
So I went to YouTube and I asked him, because he was going on about that 5G and the firehouse. And I was like, why don't you tell him how it's coming through the damn power grid?
mhm.
Yes, the air gigs.
Yes. Because
AT&T air gig.
yes. And why do me, little old me, sitting out here in the middle of nowhere with my little computer have to find that out?
Yeah.
Because they came and hacked my grid. That's the only way I found out was because remember after that hurricane, I told you guys there's no way that power line needs replacing. It just got replaced. All of them did.
Mm-hmm.
And they came in, and I showed you that crazy shot up gig they put in there.
Yeah. Yeah. You know,
And then told me that they taped that broadband to that pole to sturdy it.
to sturdy the pole.
Yes, I just had another person, Rat Cat, on Twitter. They told her the same thing. They were like, "Oh yeah, we had to do that to sturdy the pole." Seriously,
Right.
you cannot get a better excuse than that. That's that.
And they've clearly all got the same script they've been handed: to sturdy the pole. If that doesn't work, go to choice B. You know, I mean, it literally is.
To make it shady so that the birds can see.
Yes,
can
right.
avoid it.
You know, just use the word
Something, I know.
safe. You know, just whatever you're saying, make sure you use safe analogies, and then people will
Oh
be happy.
no! It's safe, and the other magic word is fast.
Yes, fast and
It's
safe.
fast about 5G. Oh, and I can go. Okay. Last week it was like 3 or 4 commercials, but this week is only 2 commercials on the wrestling show that I watch.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Slowing down, huh?
You know, honestly, they're still. I still would love to like
give
every wrestling move known to man to them.
I know. You know,
every single sellout, traitorous engineer, everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the whole part of that.
Yeah.
They sold out their soul. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's
like,
my family. It's like, no, you're
to the bottom.
Full of shit.
Yeah, I can't see people in technology in some kind of way that work in the industry somehow can't realize where this is going, who are, you know, can't question that they clearly choose not to and continue to just think.
Well, I'm telling you, when I started researching the nanotechnology and all of it and how it came together, one thing that became very clear to me was they all started following me. Because they're so compartmentalized that they honestly all of them don't know the whole picture. They really don't. And you know, not that that's, you know, so much of an excuse, but it is a reality. That's why when we talk about, you know, for so many years, when you've got your doctorate and I'm brainwashed.
Yep.
Yeah.
They know a lot about that one specific thing that they're doing. They do not understand how their cog plays into the whole.
Yeah. And they are taught that way on purpose. That science is broken up that way on purpose, you know, so that
because most of those people do have children. They do have moms and dads and grandmas.
Yeah, you know, and it's well, there was one, it's way back now, but I forget even who played it, but it was an interview with one of the installers of 5G or wherever they were putting it. And he was explaining on the video that, you know, what I'm putting in is poisoning your kids. It's poisoning your family. Then I have to do what I have to do because I have to feed my family. And since no one cares, someone's going to do it anyway. And I'm listening to this going, this is why this whole thing continues. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right there, you know, I mean, it's so those people are out there too. And you know, but like you said, for the most part, on the bigger level.
Also, like on Twitter, Rob E., who, when he did figure out, several of his friends got cancer and died were 5G, that were installers. And he got some kind of tumors that didn't end up being cancerous, but he stopped and he now speaks out about it. So it's just like anything. There's good people and bad people in everything.
Yeah. I know there's some fire departments that have had installed on their roofs these antennas, and that started happening. And
you know, the fire departments, I was a real big, the firefighters are good, cops are bad. And, you know, they don't shoot you. They run in and help you. But if you look at that movie, Fahrenheit 451, firefighters are the ones who end up going in and burning all the books. The firefighters are part of the same brotherhood. It's their own brotherhood, but it's still the Masonic brotherhood.
Everything is compromised. Absolutely everything. Even when they first invaded Iraq back in 2003, I guess it was, they took all the writings and destroyed them, and literally had to break into rooms that were secured to do it, and then tried to blame it on the riots. Um, you
Right.
know,
And it was just utter destruction and give
yeah,
us all your gold
yeah, and
and
it was very
we're gonna use
coordinated, and
we're gonna use voice of God weapery on you
yeah,
and this is
voice of
all
God.
pretty
Yeah, that was
success.
the first time Desert Storm and all. Yeah, it's it is so, like you said, compartmentalized. Yet, you know, once you see the big picture, there's no unseeing it. You know what I mean?
That's
Um,
so true.
Yeah.
and
No.
That's so true.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what I guess. But as these movements, I hope grow. I hope that if the purge continues on places like YouTube, that when it reaches people that just do creative things and not necessarily truth or anything like that, and they're being taken down, it's just it's not too late. Hopefully, people try to save the internet as it is, because without that open communication, the internet is not the internet, and who
Well,
needs it?
they came out, Tom, in 2015 and told us that we were headed into the internet dark ages.
Hmm. Yeah, you know
So,
but there's ways that it can be done that they can't shut down. It's just there's enough people, like oh, and I'm having a brain fart now, the guy whose mom spoke at Anarchadelphia, who is doing, I forget how long, like 30 years or 40, longer than a murderer, for creating websites for free trade and things like this, out of,
oh, kind of like the guy who sold the apricot seeds and had to go
yeah,
do time
yeah,
because he was curing cancer on the down low.
yeah, it's
Not
just,
allowed to do that.
and if enough people knew that they can't shut down, they can shut down these centralized ways, like Mark taught on that one episode
Right.
when he was explaining how, and I've gone in, like you said, and I know you've done it too, Lisa, looking at torrents and doing stuff like that,
Yeah.
um, but if there's 8 of us in the world that are doing that, it doesn't take long to, end that. But if
Shut that
there's,
down.
yeah, but if there's 800 million, um, and you just don't know how many people, because these younger generations, they do know a lot more that we don't know about these computers,
Right.
That's true.
So I just hope,
Well, you know
I
what?
have to
It's
hope.
funny you say that, Tom, because I'm looking at it kind of like what was it called back in the slave days, the Underground Railroad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's basically what we're going into.
Yeah. And there's always something that can be done. It's, how many people have the guts to do it and realize it's the right thing to do. And,
I know. I cried. I literally, because I've done this full on for 5 years.
Mm.
And there's so much. I went back to look for a subject. It happened, it was one of those things where I went back to find something where you put your handle in the search bar with whatever subject you're looking up.
mm-hmm.
And all this information came. And I just started crying because I was like, this is akin to burning a library down.
Yeah.
Because people still do go back and find my information about this, that, or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And it just really kind of broke my heart.
Yeah, I same with all the things on my accounts, and and
Well, yours got burnt to the ground for you.
absolutely, yeah,
Yeah. Same with my blog too.
yep, yeah, and
Yeah.
it, like you said, is absolutely the equivalent of it's modern day book burning, and people need to recognize this history going on in front of us instead of thinking faster movies, ooh,
Right.
it's
Yeah. Faster, crappy movies. Woo.
yeah,
I
and you
was
know what? No matter what
I was
movie I watch, it downloads in plenty of time. I really don't need it to be 3 seconds. The 60 seconds is fine.
Exactly.
It makes, so again, I put in my head how many people are going, we have to have this, but you put on, like you said, there's certain things we will put on the TV for here and there. And anytime you do, it's these commercials, it's the 5G commercials, it's the Google commercials, it's the
Oh yeah.
AI, the
Oh,
Alexa.
the fucking Muppets selling out for the portal,
Yep,
Facebook
the
portal, and
portal,
oh
yes.
god, I was like, seriously, it's like, okay,
And I've never seen anything sold commercially as heavily, as this stuff.
yeah,
To kids, like you said, that using the Muppets and just any way they can. Car commercials, guys driving a car. Hey Alexa, turn my friggin' lights on at home, bitch. You know what I mean? Like, shut up, dude. Go home and turn them on yourself.
Lazy ass.
Yeah.
So fucking hard to flip a switch.
Yeah, you got to be on because it's so.
I'm like, unplug your Wi-Fi at night, and they're like, oh, and I'm like, well, how hard is it? Just make that little light you turn off.
It just takes a second, right?
Every night I turn that off.
Oh yeah,
And if I don't, I guarantee you, I get the synthetic dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And I wake up in a sweat, and I'm like, oh my God, where am I?
Yeah, and it is so everywhere, that Wi-Fi is just so everywhere anymore. Have you ever, I'm sure you've seen like a meme of someone portraying what the, field looks like with Wi-Fi and all these frequencies going around?
Yeah, David Icke did a good one on that.
Yes, David, that's exactly what I was thinking of, actually. It is. It's, if people could see it.
Rainbow hippie shit.
Yes, it does, and yet people, of course, can realize that's how the TV works, that's how the internet works, that's how virtual reality works. Like, it's all frequencies.
Well, Tom, now that you say that about the TV, did you see where the FBI came out and warned everybody about buying TVs? Anybody buying a TV this season, Black Monday or Black Friday, Cyber Monday, your TV will have a camera in it.
Oh, really? No, I did not see that.
And that was mainstream. That came out mainstream. The FBI came out to warn people.
Smart tellies, right out of, it's, and, I haven't bought a TV in years. In fact, one of my main TVs is still one of the oldest. It wasn't even a smart TV, and I hope it lasts forever, but it won't. But what they've done is they've taken, where if you do get, the cable box or whatever you plug in to get TV, they just have a camera in it. They can turn it into a smart TV. It just becomes a monitor, and all the apps are in the box.
Well, that's what they're wiring into the electric grid is the broadband.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? Moves faster than 5G. Broadband.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's moving at a rate of 10G.
Now, is that wired? Or is that in the...
Yeah.
That's wired. So that's a hardwired.
But it still has the photonics moving through it.
No, sure. Yep.
And
yeah.
So,
really, the world...
It makes sense because they talked about how the lights were going to have that tech. And, it's just another one of those places where it's so high tech, it doesn't click for you. It's not like something in the light bulb. Duh.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming through the actual power that's powering the light.
Right, exactly. See, and that's where things go back as old as, with that woodpecker signal all the way back, I mean, this is stuff they've been doing forever, and now they have the actual equipment to do it with instead of having to, work around the current technology, that they had at the time. Now it's designed to do all that stuff.
Right. Well, I put a tweet out this week explaining to everyone about the Tesla tech being wired into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're noticing it, but a lot of people are. Is that there's a humming like a coming up from the ground.
Well, that would make sense.
Yeah, because we talked about how I was a sensitive person, and I always walked barefoot and grounded naturally before I even knew what that was.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, something didn't feel right to me anymore. And that was back when I hit that black AI wall. And I looked it up and figured out, that's a lot of what they're doing underground was they wired the 5G was wired from the ground up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. See, that would make sense because, like you said, it's been going up all over the place, incognito in ways.
And then where they haven't been able to do it, they've got the, what's his name? Elon, it's evil, but we must merge with it.
Yes, right.
Elon Musk.
Yes, exactly.
With the doobie.
I'd like to give him one in the face.
I know that that guy's either smoking too much or people can't.
He's birthing Skynet.
Yeah,
I mean,
and telling us it's bad.
Well, I'll do it
unleashing the
anyway.
demons, but
Makes
we
perfect
better merge
sense.
with it. Yeah. Yeah.
And who's the other guy that actually isn't really is Ray Kurzweil? He's another one, right? The Google
Yeah, and
guy.
the funny thing is, and a lot of people have noticed this and commented on Twitter, is the bitches can hardly string a sentence together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you really want to be like that?
Yeah. You know, and
No.
Like, it's bad, but we gotta attach to it.
I don't know why that Elon Musk guy, why people like that guy. I can't sit through 5 minutes of him. I really can't. Like you said, that's how he
I don't
sounds
like
to
him
me.
either.
No, that's how he sounds.
Oh,
Duh.
he's fully black dude.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
takeover is complete.
Yeah. Definitely. It's this thing, like you said, the people they put in front to sell. I really don't know how people, buy these puppets. They can't see because there's plenty of people that think that this is all going to bring us forward, and we'll get super smart when we attach. In fact, today, I think I retweeted it today. Someone sent out a little video of a microchipping party. This girl was getting microchipped.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I
Yeah.
retweeted it.
Oh, everyone's clapping. Yay! Jesus God. It's just,
Exactly.
yeah, it
Yeah,
really,
but my question is are those chips even necessary? Maybe that's like the central brain to all the nanotech that's growing in our bodies.
yeah, or it could just be psychological to get people to turn themselves over to,
Mentally.
upgrade. Yeah, mentally, the upgrade to be ready for, robotic voices to be beamed into your skull.
Okay. I'm gonna be a little bit of a nerd here, and I can't show clips of this because it's bullshit and it's copyright and stuff. Because
Okay.
otherwise, I'd show a Gargoyles episode. Surprise. And then the name of the episode is called Upgrade, and basically, like, there's this villains. They're called the Pack.
Yeah.
And they basically turn they basically turn themselves into like half machine, half flesh. That's pretty much what they're doing. They upgrade to cybernetics and all sorts of shit.
That's the same ones that showed the damn gray
Yeah,
goose.
the Grey Goose scenario in Australia in the episode
More
called
truth and
Walkabout.
cartoon
Yeah,
than there is
What's
on the
this on?
moon.
What's this called?
it's called okay. In the mid 1990s, Disney had a cartoon called Gargoyles. It ran from 1994 to 1996, and they did a whole ton. There's all sorts of Easter eggs in there
Oh,
about
Lisa shared it
about
with me about a year
AI,
ago.
NWO stuff. Everything, like pretty much everything that's happening now. It's
I'll check it out.
yeah. Oh, it's entertaining as hell too. I love it. But
Yes, yeah, I do. I do like things like that. Those are the things
you'll
I
love
do
it.
get
You'll love it,
entertained
Tom.
by.
You'll love it. So
Things with a purpose and a point that you can understand. And look, they always put, like you said, the poison pills in there, but we
Yeah.
can all see them now. It's very clear. So
Yeah.
it's not brainwashing me. I watch stuff, and I particularly movies and shows like that, like a series or if it's got a point that I'll enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just letting you know, Tom. The first only the first and second seasons are necessary. There's a
Okay.
season 3, but that's when they like really it it's
Took a
the
turn.
least it's the least favorite of the seasons. It's not
Okay.
really totally necessary.
Gotcha.
So only do it if you really want to.
Someone stepped in and said, "Wait a minute, too much truth. Let's ruin this series." You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty much. It's just it got turned into like a very bad Saturday morning cartoon. It was mostly on the weekdays that they aired it.
Oh,
We
okay.
were talking, Lisa, about that show Revolution.
Oh yeah, that first aired in 2012.
Was it
Yep.
good? I never saw it though. Was it?
Yeah,
was
I
it
saw it
good?
on TV.
That
Yeah.
one showed it all.
Oh
Okay.
yes. Oh
It's
yeah.
from the blackout all of a sudden, and it's all because of the nanotech.
Okay. See, they put it right out there for.
No, they do.
And they do anyway to get people to blow it off as TV. You know what I mean? Or movies or whatever.
Well, and it also, as we've told people for so long, it's programming your subconscious.
Yeah. Well, absolutely preparing
If
for the
you're
environment.
if you're not consciously getting it, your subconscious is getting it.
Yeah. Takes it all.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you can just go look. I mean, Netflix, any of those. It's just one dystopia after another.
Yeah.
And they're basically telling the same damn story 100 different ways.
And I've noticed too when I've seen some of the commercials lately, because like I said, I've really only had it on the past few weeks, and the the shows, one of the shows, and I'm sure people heard of it, but I never have. But I've noticed it's Thursday night. It's something whatever o'clock. Evil. The show's called. It's like fucking evil.
Yeah.
The show's called. It's a TV show that they're advertising at 1 o'clock in the afternoon during football. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and your kids are watching or whatever you're doing, and I'm like, this is like, could you
Yeah.
imagine 1981?
No,
Evil Friday at
No.
9.
actually, I couldn't. That's when I was born. So.
Oh well.
The
Sorry,
church
showing my age. Sorry.
church ladies would have beat the shit out of them.
It's
Yeah, that
okay, Tom.
could have never
okay.
gotten away with. I mean, it's and yet the things that they did, quote unquote, get away with were more humor and more, things that now they couldn't get away with when it comes to, comedy
Well, like
and
Saturday Night Live. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
you remember the character Pat, don't you,
Oh,
Tom?
absolutely, absolutely. You could,
Well,
yeah.
that you couldn't tell what gender it was.
No, yep, yep.
And they made a huge joke out of it. Oh, there's a lot of truth on that one too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
Oh, okay.
remember before I woke up, I was like, there's only so far you can push this shit till it's not funny.
True, and when you see the world now with, little children that have no really idea, being used, like you said, whether it's for climate change or it's for transgender agenda or whatever it is, you just realize
Yeah.
how bad this is, and not only has it gotten, but has the potential to get with where they want to go with it.
And these I mean, these people think it's okay. I mean, that they don't think, and
Yep.
it just drives me up the wall. I mean, like, have these like I'm taking all this in, and it's like, okay, seriously, no one thinks that this is a fucking bad idea. I
I
mean,
know.
seriously, like, it's like, okay, seriously, like, what? Are you, they're. I'm just gonna say it. They're fucking retarded.
Yeah.
It just
Right.
means slow.
It's
Deal
slowed
with it.
down.
It just
Absolutely.
means that a retardation, like a fire retardant, a flame retardant, means to slow something that slows down flames.
Yep.
That's what it means. Get
Absolutely.
over it, PC people. Okay.
Well, and
Yep.
if you think about it, our Ka is a flame. We are an eternal flame, and when that's retarded, that is retardation.
Yeah, that's the word's used properly. It really
Mhm.
is. I mean, stupid as it sounds, when my truck's running slow, I say it all the time. This truck's retarded. Running retarded.
Right?
It's just I'm not calling it dumb. You know what I mean? I'm using the
Right.
word properly.
It's slow.
And people
Yeah.
be like, look at you like, whoa. My God, my aunt's cousin's brother's sister's roommate's friend has a kid who has, it's like, well, I'm not trying to offend anybody. Jesus God. And again, people,
Political correctness can take a flying color.
yeah, well, that's when you point out to them,
Yes.
it's your choice to be offended. And people are looking for reasons to be offended.
Yeah.
It's all within you. The person you're talking about could most likely care less. What people are saying about them because they're content within themselves. These
Right.
groups, that are standing up for, this right and that right.
Offended is code word for communist.
Yeah.
It's why you can't say that. And how all these kids, I do want to bring that up, that are following this Yang guy.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And how they are
The Yang
glorifying
gang.
communism. I told one guy this week, I said, you go call China right now and ask them how the hell they're doing.
Exactly.
They're doing terrible.
And that is the model right there that they want.
And what they're wanting to do really is to combine the two.
Yeah.
And that's a nightmare too. And it's all a nightmare because they're systems that were created to control people.
Yep.
I
mean,
control and divide.
yeah.
Now they want us to have one world. So we're going to bring both our bad ideas together and make them super fucking bad.
Right. And then we're going to rule over you and we'll tell you what we're going to, because, we're the elitist people that you let own the friggin' world, because that's what this is all about, owning all the resources.
I was thinking about that too, Tom. If every human being on earth stepped in their power today, it would be over like that.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep.
It is true.
They are ruling because people are not standing in their own power. And that leaves room for that to come. People keep talking about, well, it's our subconscious that's doing it. Yes, but why?
Yeah.
That's where you're not fully grasping it. Why is our subconscious doing it? Because that's ruling you, because you're not stepping into your own conscious power.
Yep. That's the
If
truth.
you might have a bit of a shadow left, but it's greatly diminished
Hmm.
because of that what? That fire Lisa was talking about, the
Mhm.
Yeah.
cow.
Yeah. You know. See, I mean, I guess because maybe I sometimes too get too metaphysical when I'm thinking because
Well, it's
trying to.
okay. Get as metaphysical as you
No,
want to,
there's
man.
nothing
But
wrong. We like it.
I've always, since I was
Yeah,
a
we do.
kid, a little kid, I remember, what am I doing here? Like, it's always been
Yes.
a question. And so, even as young, always knew there was more life in the universe, or whatever this may be, because that only makes
Right.
sense. Um, there's, all of these things that we learn growing up that don't make sense. So I've always questioned and questioned. And then I guess upon getting to a certain, again, I don't know if this is the part where I question if it's the growth of the soul of the person. Is this a thing where, as you do this on your own and then we're trying to spread this? We've been through this, in my opinion, so many times as a species because these people have just ruled the same
Well, do you
way.
know what we were talking about walking through the sun the last time?
Hmm.
Well, what happens? The triangle symbolism is a symbol for a multitude of reasons, but the biggest one is it indicates our prison. Why does the light shine through one side and then the prism come out the other?
Mm.
Hmm. Hmm.
And we are only aware, there are many things happening around us that we can't see because we only can see a certain part of the spectrum. I've got something I'll send you. I was up late researching last night and I was like, wow, look at this. And
It's like it's a
basically the
percent less than
triangle
point
is,
zero 0.05 or something, I think. It's a fraction
yes,
of that,
and that's the prison that our mind has been put in
Hmm. Hmm.
here. And so what I think, Tom, is like you and me and other people, we're not the only ones who, as youngsters, were going, wait, something isn't quite right here.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I mean, I
What is
know it
Yeah.
can
going on
start at
here?
any time, but I
Yeah,
think as a youngster, though, when you really start there, that because now can I look back, and not just because I'm an adult, but because I've had that question and that perception of my own existence. I can look at all the lessons and the ups and the downs, and to understand why I had to go through that to learn about myself
right.
because it's all about having these experiences as for yourself and then understanding the lesson or making that change or whatever it is on an individual level. And I guess what I'm saying is so many people, it seems to me, just don't do that in life, and they'll just go along with this, go along with that,
I
whatever's best
know
for
they're putting
me.
up Christmas lights and baking fruit cakes and
Yeah,
shit.
whatever's and I
You're
just
distracted. There, it's almost like a big Six Flags for kids,
It
Disneyland.
is. It is, and look,
But
I claim to know next to nothing when it comes to knowledge, knowing compared to what there is to know. But
oh yeah,
not,
Yeah.
I try to put as much in my head as I can every single day. Because there's so much to know. I mean, what else are we doing here? If you really look at it, are we here to run the monopoly board? Are we here to, what is it? And to me, that's what we're here to
No.
do.
No.
I think we're imprisoned here. I mean, I truly that I have come to. That's
I've
my conclusion.
I've come to
I
think
think
this species is in prison here. I don't
we
tend to
are.
think my own soul is. I almost tend to think I've come here to
Well, we're a
try to.
part of it.
Well,
But
yeah, absolutely, but
oh, I got you. I got
you
you.
know what
But
I'm saying. Like,
yes, I do. Yes, which explains why, as a kid, we had those questions.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
it's something different. Maybe we've,
Why we were sent here to from maybe a different place
yeah,
Yep.
to
you
help
know.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
facilitate change.
Because there's
Agreed.
no way in hell that I could live my life ignoring everything going on that I
Oh my.
am aware
Yeah.
Right.
of now. Like, it'd be
Yes.
impossible, you
Yes.
know.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so, and
Yes.
how many people do you tell things to that don't want to hear it and just go on about their lives? Like, to me, that's
Uh,
like, oh my God, I
Or
don't get
even
it.
people who are
Exactly. I don't get it. Tom, okay, 100,000% of what you're saying. Yes, 100%. Yes.
Like it's
Yes.
unfathomable to me,
Yes.
and I often wonder: is my soul more evolved? Is this what the fuck is
right.
all this? Like, what are you doing to me,
Mhm.
God? You know what I mean? Like,
That,
Yes.
that's a really good point, Tom. That
because
we are then, but we're not.
I'll
That,
imprint on the
that makes
Akashic record right
yeah.
now. This place is fucked up. The end. You know what I mean?
This
There's what I
actually,
learned. You know what I mean?
well, hey, that's what people get mad at me, and they're like, "Oh, la this and hope and that," and I'm with hope. I love hope. I mean,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
but let's look at the realism of all this shit here too.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
Mhm.
let's don't just bury ourselves in hope and change. Hope,
Yeah.
what are we, Obama?
No. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. You
Mm.
know. Next thing you know, we'll be paying people to faint in our audience.
Okay, why watch this plasma because I think a plasma reset's coming.
Yeah, definitely that's the
I
term
really
used everywhere. Reset,
and
reset, reset.
I'm pro plasma reset because just and I think that's probably what happened with Atlantis because what happens is these idiots get control of this shit
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
every single
Yep.
time, and
Mm-hmm.
then they use this tech, you know,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
and they use it to the detriment of humanity, to the detriment of where we live, our realm,
Mhm.
our earth realm, and then I think that natural law takes over and goes, no,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely. At
plasma
some
reset.
point, absolutely, I agree. You
And
know.
I
Yep.
wonder sometimes if these chemtrail operations aren't also to kind of, trick that from happening as fast.
Yeah. Yeah. There has to right. There's always several reasons for the things they do, and
Right.
that kind of blocks maybe some of the. I mean, again,
Well, like the information coming from the sun,
Yeah, yeah, and perhaps, like you said, all the see, I try to go back and open my imagination and realize, well, maybe this was, a technological, ruled by another greater or whatever, and now these bloodline people think they're going to be the gods, and really, technology is their god. So
Mhm.
that's the same thing
Well,
that was
right,
done to us, um,
right.
and it seems
Yeah,
like they've
maybe
picked up the
their
mantle.
bloodline. Well, yeah, I mean, just think, like I talk about Tartaria. Well, that wasn't that long ago.
Mhm,
And my great grandfather was orphaned, was one of those that was at that time, 1870s,
mhm,
orphaned, and then he was groomed to do what these people wanted.
mhm.
He ended up knowing the Warner Brothers. He ended up knowing Astor, the one that was killed in the
Titanic.
not Titanic.
Who? John Jacob Astor or no? Like, yeah,
And he ended up winning the
John
glory.
Astor. Is that who you're talking about? John Astor?
Yeah,
Wasn't he killed on the Titanic or no?
yeah,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah. But
yeah,
he
right.
came over well. So my point is, they they had the natural energy back then, and then they figured out how to flip it, and then we came into this damn industrial age to where they made the machines. And I think this AI entity, a lot of people call it Draco, uh, you know,
Hmm.
that this thing got these people to do this because this is not that long in our history,
No.
and look how far away from what is real it's taken us.
Yeah, this is.
And what did they do? They built machines that would clear cut the freaking huge ass trees to the ground.
Yep.
And my daughter was in school and she was learning hey nerd, what's the word for how you find out what a word means? Etymology.
Etymology.
Oh. Oh yeah.
Okay,
Sorry.
well, she
Yeah,
ended up
because one is
finding
the
out.
difference between like the study of insects and the other is a study of
I know that's what I
words.
was getting
I
confused
let me.
on.
Right.
I think it's etymology. Let me double check real quick.
Yeah,
Okay. Well,
etymology.
I'll
Et.
go on
Yeah.
with my story while you're
Yeah, it's
checking.
etymology, the study of the history of words.
Okay. Well, do you know what the word civilization means?
Of which one? Sorry.
The word civilization breaks down to cut down trees.
Really?
Yes.
It certainly makes sense as to how, if you look, you know,
Got to
And
build
so,
those roads,
yeah,
Tom.
yeah, gotta, and some of those roads, if you look around the world, were just put right through
So
megalithic
civilization,
sites and things just to destroy. You know what I mean? Um,
right?
like just for a reason to. I mean, look at the Amazon, what they're doing. I mean, it's
Oh,
just
oh,
what are they growing? I think chocolate, cocoa, or something. That's what.
oh, and what kills me is those wonderful people. When I was out west as a kid, I went out west, and there was this. I remember one time, one big regret I have was this lady was up in this tree, and she wouldn't. She was living in it, had been in it for 2 weeks. And I remembered my soul going, that's what you're supposed to do. And I ignored it. And I was so mad at myself. But that's, they call them eco terrorists. You're the damn terrorist.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
You know how they flip that? Oh, well, they put sugar in our gas tanks. Well, what else are they supposed to do?
Yeah, I mean the amount of, and I think actually in the Amazon it's soy they're growing, and I think it's in Africa it's all
Oh,
that's where they're using all the
oh,
land for
that's
chocolate and
awful.
cocoa, and
GMO. It's
you know
probably half synthetic
a
too.
place that could feed the world if it wasn't so owned like everywhere else. I mean that's one of the main places that people
Well, what
forget
was that
about.
movie?
Mm-hmm.
That movie, The Medicine Man, where
Hmm.
they talked about that, where he was out there trying to gather plants, and I mean, who knows what's just been utterly destroyed out of existence that could have, you know,
Yeah,
cured everything we have.
yeah, you know. And supposedly, when you look back, this golden age we supposedly had, I never really think the people had a golden age. It was a golden age for the elites, and maybe there was just peace among the sheeple. You know what I mean? As far as doing their work without questioning it,
They were good
you know,
slaves.
right? Good slaves. That's the,
They had good fluoride
right.
back then.
Yeah, you know what I mean? There's no gold, in my opinion, unless it was way before the history that we know, because, they find fossils millions of years old. What the hell do we know? You know what I mean? But,
Yeah.
I don't close my mind to anything, but I think
Yeah.
we as, human beings have not achieved that golden age at all yet, in our history,
No,
you know.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
no, I don't think so either.
In
In fact,
fact, I'd say the most knowledge we've ever had available to us is right now, in our entire history as quote
well,
unquote
as far as we
slaves.
know.
You know.
I haven't seen what's under the Vatican yet, Tom.
No,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh. Oh, I would like die to go to heaven if I could go down
Oh,
there.
I'm telling you, everything
I
is
would. I'm like salivating over here.
hmm
the library. Well, I want to tell y'all about this article I read because I was like, do you ever read something and just your core starts shaking?
hmm
You're so mad, you're so just grossed out that you just, ugh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm
Especially
reading this.
lately.
Right. And
Yeah.
it's funny because I was like, remember did y'all watch the Animal House? I know
No,
Yes.
you
I actually. Oh, actually, yeah. I think I
you
have
fucked up, you
once.
trusted us.
Yeah.
Remember that
Niedermeyer
line?
did. Oh
Yeah.
yes, yes, absolutely.
You fucked up, you trusted
You
us.
fucked up. You trusted us. And it's the
Well,
truth.
it is.
Eh,
This article goes into saying that whenever we put all of our information on the internet, they were making fun of how easily we put all of our information out there.
mhm.
And they even go on to say that even if you have a piece of paper and it burns, it still leaves ash. So basically, they were saying you've literally put something into air, and it does not exist if we say it doesn't.
Mm.
Mm.
All they have to do is flip that switch.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, all of their tech is EMP proof. They've come out, all of their shit is EMP proof. The
Yeah.
nanotech, I mean, everybody's like, oh, we need that to happen. And I'm like, well, it's only going to take your shit out. It's not going to take theirs out.
That is very true, and
Mm.
they've left it kind of here. From what I understand, too, it's compared to the money they create every day. It's not that expensive to fix that problem here, but
Well,
they've
that's
left it
what we've
very
tried to
susceptible.
tell. That's what we've tried to tell everybody with crypto, right, Tom?
Yeah, it's. I mean, they've. Like I said, that's why I look at it. You just see that they seem to have covered all angles, but
Yeah.
again, is that the perception they want us to have, or are we more awake as an entire people than we as individuals think, and that's I guess, like I said, that's the thing that's eventually going to come to a head here. We're either going
Well,
to go into
I
this.
would like to think that,
Me
Tom,
too,
but
but I'm not
Yeah.
saying I necessarily
I
do
mean,
think that, but I try.
one trip through one major store, and
Yeah.
your whole perception of that
Oh,
stuff
all I
changes.
got to do is walk the end of my block. I don't even
I
have to go
mean, the
that far.
knuckles are dragging you
Yeah, no, it's not far from me. Any neighbor's door will do. And they'll just point at the sky, and
Well,
I'll tell you, you know what? I thought of you guys earlier, and now that's what I wanted to
Aw.
remember. I was, thinking about how lately, kind of, and I think we were talking about this last time, when you kind of just talk to somebody about, say, perhaps, the chemtrails, like today, where here it was just total horrible. And before, people might kind of try to listen a little bit, or now they kind of just get in
right.
this shutdown mode, like Jackie Gleason and Smoking the Bandit, you know what I mean? Like they just shut
Yeah.
down and they can't.
Mhm.
Well, in doing it again recently with more people, I'm noticing the people before who would not have looked into it, or not, are more of the ones where people, like you said, and I think you brought this up before, Sarah, where it just seems like that line is drawn, where people are no longer downloading, certain information that you might throw at them, where other people that have listened to it for years and kind of been blowing it off are starting to
Or,
see it more. So I'm
or
hoping
they
that a
would at
shift
least
happens.
take their fist at you and go, you're wrong,
Yeah.
and want to fight with you. And now that's like even gone.
Yeah. People just
Where it's like
won't.
they just act like you didn't say anything.
Right, exactly. But
That's
more on the
it.
flip side, the more of the people
Yeah.
that I do know and have,
Yeah.
heard more of this out of me because I know them, are starting to more. So, that's when I just kind of go, well, maybe all of this, I guess what I'm trying to say is, all the years, like you said, we've been doing this, maybe it wasn't for
Yeah.
nothing. Maybe seeds have been planted that we're very unaware of.
Yeah.
And they're
I
sprouting in
hope.
little basements. You never
Well,
know.
well, mushrooms grow in the dark.
Exactly. And I just think that, you know, this is kind of 5-10 years ago what we all said was going to happen. So now here we are, let's
Right.
just
Where
deal with it,
mm,
because
I
I
am
ain't
getting a
fucking doing
little
all
bit.
this, you know what I mean?
I am getting a little bit more of that because I my big thing has been with my kid and his baby,
Hmm.
and trying to tell them to keep the frickin' tech off of him,
Hmm.
to keep to not have your phones right there on him,
Yeah, no
because
smart diapers, you know what I mean?
well,
Uh,
they're not doing all
I'm
that.
just kidding. I know. I'm just
They're
kidding. I
pretty
know.
quick. Oh, it's bad. It's bad. No,
Oh, I
you're
know.
right.
Oh, yeah, right on the genitals, little
They've got
smart meter.
a sock that'll take their temperature and do well, what the
Oh.
thing's doing is, I'm a mother
Hmm.
and you're a dad,
Hmm.
and you know this. You're so in tune to your kid when it's little like that.
Oh,
It's
yes.
a part of you. And
Yes.
your intuition knows somehow when that baby's not right in that bed.
That's right.
Well, that's coming in between it because it wants to be the mama.
Yes, that's the truth.
fuck
Everything,
that shit.
and it's like you said, it's coming between from texting to where it takes
Well,
the
it's
humanity out of
taking,
speaking.
well, right, and it tells you it's doing it.
Yeah,
A tweet I just did was saying, it was talking about AI being intuiting what you need.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, what the fuck is your intuition for?
Hmm. Yeah. Well, you can even see that happens from advertisements that pop up. I mean, on people's phones that they've.
Well, I tell you, I've tried with people with that, and I'm, oh, I just get so mad because
Mhm.
they can't make the connection.
No, I mean, well, now I'm starting to see, it's kind of like I said, just people, like I
You're
said, not
getting
not the
people
world,
looking in your
not the
eyes.
world, but people that because I don't have a Facebook account. I never wanted one, even before I knew that it was the
Right.
super devil. I just don't want to tell everybody all the cheeseburgers I'm eating and all that shit. Like who the hell give a picture of my dessert and all? And
You
today I.
don't hang your underwear out in the front yard to dry, Tom?
Right, I'm going to show you. Look at it. Look at I just, I never wanted it, and I don't want people from sixth grade, trying to be my best friend. Like I don't want all that. So I never
No.
did it. But a lot of people I know do, of course, do that, and
Right.
they're starting to realize how evil that little damn thing is. For when it starts, hey, I think you want this, and hey, and they're remembering. Well, I talked about that yesterday. Is that a coincidence? Um,
Well, no, I've got not one person that I've talked to, and let's face it, I live in South Georgia, and these, not one person has denied that their phone reads their mind. Not
mhm.
one single person. They're like, yeah, I did notice that, and it showed up in my Facebook ads, or I hadn't talked to this girl in years, but I thought about her, and it was on my Facebook.
Mhm.
What they can't seem to put into to get is the bigger picture. It's reading my mind.
Right.
Okay. How do you think it just pulled that out, or
Right.
it knows all of your thoughts?
Yeah.
How in the hell can that be good?
Yeah.
And
And
it's from this technology you're holding in your hand.
right, because the next step
And-
is to become the thoughts itself.
yeah.
And program the mind from this genius cloud, this Skynet
Well, no,
cloud.
I wanted to talk about that because Richie from Boston actually found this. It's
Mhm.
where first place I heard of it.
Mhm.
They're called M's, and shoot, I need my cheat sheet here. There's so much it's hard to keep up with. But
That is the truth.
what
That's very
basically,
true.
do you remember Obama's brain initiative?
Um, I don't remember the document off the top of my head, but it was.
Well, it was a huge thing he did. It was brain mapping, and everybody's brain was mapped.
Oh, that was under him. He had an executive order to. I knew that was being
Yes,
done by
I can
companies.
send that to you.
Okay, yeah,
And
please.
they're called M's, and it's emulate it. They're emulated brains. So your brain can be emulated and put into a scent that feels like it's human. So they've mapped all of our brains
Hmm.
so that they can create this pseudo human race. But I'll send you that video.
Yeah,
It's a pretty short video, but
yeah.
very enlightening.
And that is the plan. People don't want to really go that far and say that, but that is the plan. One, like you said, pseudo human race that does not reproduce, that does not think, that just goes about.
Which is
And
why the trans agenda is
yeah,
out.
absolutely. Completely surveilled, controlled. Pick
Yep.
any Hunger Games movie or a Divergent or whatever. That's the way it's going to
Yep.
work.
Mhm.
And you know, these people that, and I'm not saying again, I try to hold on to hope, but people that have hold on to hope within the system and within government for the quote unquote good guys, and the
Well, what we are, Tom, is, and I feel better about saying this because I don't know. Hope to me is a demon bitch.
yeah,
In a way. I mean, you can't faith in yourself and the greater purpose and all that. I'm down with.
hmm
But oh gosh, did I lose what I was going to say?
oh, I hate when that happens to me, especially when we're on like
But
it happens here.
It's
yeah,
more knowing. It's knowing. We are the holes in the matrix. We
mhm.
are what's keeping this thing from coming down upon everybody. And that's what I'm trying to get everybody to understand. We can't necessarily, like we talked about that other time, knock sense into everybody. Our very existence is helping everybody, if that
Right.
makes any sense.
And
Mhm.
you're right. When it comes to
Yeah.
my own life, I live it in the knowing as to what I'm doing and what I'm. But I
Right.
guess I need
Mhm.
to, more put that on a more grand scale, so to speak, and not
Yeah,
use the word
I
hope so
know.
much,
I
for
know.
others,
Yes, I
um,
know.
because
I
I
know.
I
Yes.
guess I only know what I can do. You know what I mean. I don't know what others were going to do. So I guess the word
Well, that's
is
right.
wrong. Hope. You know
And
what I mean.
well, so that knowing is strong. It's just a stronger way of saying it.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're
Mhm.
right. And it's
Yeah.
important the words that we use internally for this because, the brain thinking
Right.
then creates the feeling and then the feeling goes back. It becomes, part of who we are and why we're doing this.
Just
So,
like you were saying about knowing that though you are here, you're maybe not from here and not exactly this soul group, perhaps.
Yeah,
You know,
you know, or maybe, again, who knows? Last life, I had lessons that I did not learn, and then I decided to, or there could be so many different things as far
okay.
as
I got to
what we
stop you
are.
there, Tom. Have I ever shown you the fact that they have a reincarnation patent?
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. How many
I'm
times
out
we've
of
been
here.
here, God
They're not
knows.
getting me with that karma shit
You
again.
know,
I'm
yeah,
out of here.
no, I'm
If I
done.
was
Yeah.
supposed to learn, then I should have the memories from my last lifetime to build on.
I agree. I don't
So
think that going
it
forward.
almost feels like the Men in Black, where they do the little light at
Yeah,
you.
the
Yeah.
neuralizer. Yeah.
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 Well,
Aren't
how
you
the
proud I
hell?
remembered that?
Yeah, I am actually. That's pretty cool, Tom.
I just watched it with my son not too long ago.
Oh, cool.
I cheated.
It's okay.
I
So they
cheated.
do the brain swipe. Well, hell, you could be here a bazillion years trying to learn if your brain swiped every time you go up and follow the light.
Yeah, and that's why I think being here and learning and knowing that is what you take with you. And if you don't know who you are and what then you can easily, like you said, have to
Go
come
back
back
through the
and
recycling
come
track.
back exactly. And
Yeah, well,
maybe there's many people that is what they're going to do. And
I'm not
that's
telling anybody that they've got to do that. I'm just saying Sarah ain't coming back.
No, I'm the same, and I don't have a problem with it because I don't need to learn that becoming a transhumanist clone and a slave. I don't need to
Right.
experience that to know that that's fucked up for all of us. I don't. I get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Lesson learned. You know what I mean? On to the next one. I get it.
Mhm.
I don't need to experience that. You know what I mean? Maybe some
Okay.
people do. Maybe they've sold themselves to this
I know.
material
Well, to me, the
existence.
only thing scarier than not getting wiped out getting wiped out in the plasma events, not getting wiped out,
No, yeah,
and
and
then having to live through whatever nightmare scenario they have planned.
well, whatever it is in the end, I won't be doing any of it because I'm
I
not
hear you.
interested. I'm not. I
No.
don't. And like I said, maybe people out of fear, maybe people out of being stuck in materialism, maybe where their soul is, maybe. But
I think,
I don't
yeah,
need
we
it.
talked about that. It's almost like you come back because this is what you know.
Yeah,
And so we're as humans, we seem to be afraid of the unknown.
it's
So we
true.
seek out the familiar.
And yeah, I have a friend that often says, and I've said it since I was a kid, and he's a little older than me, but
Mhm.
whatever health issues he may have, he doesn't worry about them at all. He's like, I'm here till my mission is done, and you'd be like, well,
Right.
what is that mission? He's like, I don't know, but I know I'm not done yet, and he,
Right.
Yes.
he
Right.
does kind of the same things we do. You know what I mean? I mean, he doesn't get on here and do it, but he lives this way. He's raising his grandkids. He's,
Right.
and I kind of feel the same way.
Yeah.
Even when I became a cop, I was not afraid to die. I was not afraid to know that I may put my life on the line for someone else. And if that's what I'm here to do, that's what I'm here to do. And
Right.
why would that change now when it's about truth, freedom, love, morality? Like, like same thing with a soldier. You're going to go over as a soldier and fight for freedom, but you won't tell your sergeant to go fuck himself when he's spraying the sky. That's kind of fighting for freedom, don't you think? Like, what are you
Mhm.
afraid of? You'll go over there and shoot and do this to strangers, but you won't tell, Jim Buck, hey asshole, I'm not jumping in that plane or running that drone or,
Right.
it's amazing the
Mhm.
psychological
Well, and
battle.
you're right. I mean, you can't tell me that these psychological agents, the ones do it like you said, running the drones, the ones that are doing the shit. I mean, we don't. None of us agree with war. Period. So
Mm-mm.
let's
Nope.
just go ahead and put that out there. I feel
Nope.
Yep.
that.
Yep.
But to do it again, to say that I'm doing this for freedoms, and then to actually literally go online and harm your fellow American.
Yeah. Yeah.
You no, boo.
No.
You're broke. Your brain is broke.
Yes.
Mhm.
You are
Yes.
not thinking right
Yep.
Yep.
because you swore to protect me. What the fuck are you doing over here? What have
Yeah.
they done to tell you that this little grandma over here is just some terrible person?
Yeah. And people
And
will
well,
convince
what I think
themselves.
they've done, did you see that where they did Google came on 60 Minutes and was talking about their screeners for YouTube?
No.
Because they actually talked about it on mainstream media, the censorship on YouTube,
Oh, wow.
the COPPA. Well,
Interesting.
you know what they said, Tom? I fell out. I mean, literally on my back, kicking my feet up in the air, fell out laughing. They they
Yay, snort.
no, I can't even get it out. They have to have psychologists and support for these people because they're starting to believe what they're reading. We red pilling so damn hard. These people are needing therapy to get back into the group thing.
That's awesome.
I'll have to send y'all that.
I think I've
Yes.
seen a bit of that, but still, yeah.
No, I
that just
didn't.
made my day. That. Well, I mean, really, most of the people we know, so many people who put out good work,
Yeah.
good facts.
Yeah.
We do give people a hard time, but it's not all bad.
Most people really are genuine that
And they're putting out a lot of good work. Well,
Yep.
all the shit we do, we back up with these people's work.
Yeah.
That things they've said, laws they've put into place, UN councils they've had, weather modification patents.
Yep.
White papers.
Yep. It's all there.
Thank
the
you.
think
I mean,
tanks.
on the fact that the government's come out and said, yes, we can, we can control your mind.
Yeah,
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is,
Yeah.
it's all like you said. This is not just people. This is all you can
But when
research
you
it.
have
You can
to-
find it.
when you have to call in the white coats to come take care of the screeners because they've had too many, they're overdosing on red pills. I mean, I'm dying.
It's just well, I often say, as the people say, well, what's the Bible? This is the greatest story ever told. I'm like, this is the craziest fucking story ever told. Really, if you think
Right.
about it, because like I said, if you were watching this on the screen,
From what I understand, there's more tame acid trips than this.
yeah, I would think so. One thing, it eventually ends. Unlike what we're involved in
Right.
here, it keeps fucking going like the Energizer Bunny. From
Right.
one crazy thing to another to,
One timeline to the next.
yeah,
Collapsing in on itself.
yeah, right. But I'm
coming out of cars. Oh wait, that's an art exhibit. I'm sorry.
Eating the banana. That's part of the art exhibit.
Oh yeah. Wait, don't forget the duct tape.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what makes it great. And Forbes, Lisa has been working tirelessly. I'll get it out in a minute.
That's
On
okay.
this Internet of Things and the bio Internet of Things.
And also the Internet of Bodies and the
There
Internet of
you
nano
go.
things.
Oh my
Well,
God.
Forbes came out with it.
And also, hold on a second. Okay, here's a list of things: Internet of Things, Internet of Everything, Internet of Nano Things, Bio Internet of Nano Things, Medical Internet of Things, Consumer Internet of Things, Industrial Internet of Things, Human Internet of Things, Narrowband Internet of Things, Identity of Things, Connectedness, Gartner Hype Cycle, Cyber Physical System. That's interesting. I found that out last night.
What is it? Say that again.
Cyber CYBER dash physical system CPS.
Oh.
Tactile internet, future internet. Keywords from an article I found last night.
Oh, gosh! I might need to borrow one of those white coat people after hearing that.
Sounds like a Terminator to me. Aren't they cybernetic organisms? You know what I mean?
Wait, you forgot
Well, I've been
Skynet.
blogging it, so thanks.
They put
Don't
it all right
forget
there.
Skynet. Oh, whoa. Oh, I feel dirty.
Yeah, I mean, again,
Yep.
I don't need to experience that to know that
And
that ain't
listen
something I
to
want
it.
to do.
Tom, we're telling all these people, right? They're spraying this shit on your head.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw those strings and shit.
I did.
That's not chafe is the word they use. That's the
Yeah.
trouble I have with the chafe word.
Yeah.
Define chafe on a molecular level. Could you do that for me?
Well,
sir?
and that's the thing when you're watching that. The one thing I know is that shit that's blowing by them. I don't know what the hell it is. You know what I mean?
No,
whether,
and it acts of its own accord. It does these weird swirly motions. You'll see groups of it go one way in no wind. Like my daughter was the one that told me, Mom, you've got to see this fog. And I don't go out a lot at night. I'm an old lady, I don't like that shit. And I don't. It scares me enough out there during the daytime. I damn sure don't like it at night. So
Yeah.
we're out one night, and she said, "Look, Mom, look at the street lights." And I was like watching it as she was driving, and the stuff's moving in these like groups.
Mhm.
And I keep thinking, I'm like, "Oh God, Stephen King, oh, I hate you." You know, I miss. But anyway, listen to this quote from this Internet of Bodies, and then I'll hush. The Internet of Bodies is an extension of the IoT and basically connects the human body to a network through devices that are ingested, implanted, or connected to the body. Anyway.
You know, it really is. It really is amazing when you
And
see
they've
that's.
come out and told everybody there's nanotechnology in the food
Yeah, and
and the air.
and I was gonna say, right, in the air, we could even just to breathe, we're breathing this stuff, and then when the way the neural networks work in the body, and these,
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's literally mimicking what we do and how we
Well,
live
this,
artificially, what the
right.
body
And
does,
this
Yeah.
is part of a system too, because Lisa and I did a little research party show last week.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was fun.
We were talking about the nanotech, and I was like, "Well, go turn this on," because it was something I had found last year, and it goes to where with the Tesla tech, these
Mhm.
things start assembling themselves.
Yes. I think I've
It,
seen
Yeah.
videos on
it's
them
called
on a.
telephoresis. Is that right, nerd?
I'm sorry, what was that? Oh, telephoresis. Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah.
Let me.
Yeah. So, and it's just, yeah, where they use the Tesla tech and this stuff. So it's, like you said, Tom, it all works off of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have it here. Nanotubes assemble Rice. It's Rice University introduces Tesla. Tesla is spelled like Tesla.
Mhm.
Phoresis. Tesla phoresis.
Mhm.
April 14th, 2016, from Rice University News and Media Relations. Nice.
Right. So,
Yeah.
to me, that screams, when the 5G gets up and zzz, and,
Yeah. Yeah.
and all this nanotech in us, it's
Yeah.
just,
Again, as everybody makes fun of him, another thing David Icke has been saying for decades, like describing perfectly how this stuff works. And which book was it? I think it was Fan himself, Sarah, the one you read. He got into a lot of this, the way it assembles itself, or maybe it
Uh,
was everything you need to know.
uh,
It might have been the one after.
I
yeah,
want.
somebody told me this week, they were like, "I'd love to see you do a show with David Icke." I was
Oh,
like, "Well,
he's, look, I mean, again,
that'd be
say
a
what you want
cool."
about him. That guy took me to a whole nother level of understanding this
Well,
big picture.
he's nailed it. I
Yep,
mean,
yep, yep.
I
And people that
can't.
blow him off, that means they're lazy. They don't want to take the time to watch his 10-hour presentations or read his big fat books. They just want to say, the reptilian guy. I get that.
Yeah,
I get that a lot on Twitter. Block gone.
exactly.
I stayed away from a lot of those push button issues
Hmm.
because that puts you into, oh, you're a nutter, you're a
Yeah.
conspiracy.
Yeah.
Well, look at the Vimanas, the damn Indian
Yeah,
tech back in the day. They had are they called Vimanas, nerd
yeah,
girl?
yeah. It's Vimanas,
Yeah.
plural. Yeah,
And they almost look like a pyramid kind of
yeah,
beehivey looking shit.
yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's not that far out. We're
No.
so dumbed down,
Yes.
Scooby Dooed to death to where you do sound like that. But when I found out about this AI, I was like, fuck everybody and fuck their feelings.
Yeah. You know.
There's some weird shit has gone on here, or we wouldn't be to this point.
No.
We're
Absolutely.
not,
And
we're not just here in the whole Bible thing, it's all symbolism. We took a bite of the toroidal apple, and that's why we're experiencing reality.
hmm
We chose to take a bite out of knowledge and see what it tasted like. So we
hmm
come into this toroidal field,
hmm
which is
Toroidal field.
basically
Yeah,
what we live in. And I don't know. I can't recommend Santos Bonacci enough. Yeah, if you haven't seen his videos, you better run your ass to YouTube before they take them all off.
And download them
Okay.
before.
Yeah.
Download
I
them.
would have to click on it.
Download.
I'm not recognizing the name, but I would have to click on it and
Oh,
wonder, did I
you.
see this or not? Is
I'll
that
Oh,
send you I'll send you my favorite ones of him, but
okay?
he explains how the Bible is symbolic and the chrism actually lives in each one of us.
Mm-hmm.
And the
mhm.
chrism is the oil that rises through our spinal column. That's another place where these words don't have any meaning. Ascension and da 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 and the
Right.
chakra, but
Right.
it has a very real meaning. It means that this colostrum chrism, this golden oil goes up to your brain and you become enlightened.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he and all is Adam, like Adam and Eve, atom is
ATOM.
the basis of our reality. Yeah, we're
Right.
made of
Mhm.
atom.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's very, very he's worth it.
Yeah, I would
Really.
like that because that's that's
That
something
sound
I
up
would.
your alley?
It sure does, absolutely.
I will
I
send
actually
you.
caught on earlier today on, I guess it's the Universe Inside You. It's a channel I like to watch. They play a lot of that, Gaia channel, and Jordan Maxwell was doing an interview, and I love the way he breaks down the astrology of the Bible and gets deep into. I don't agree with everything Jordan says, but
This guy is going to blow your mind.
yeah, that's what I said. That was today, and I kind of felt like, boy, I wish I need somebody
He's
more
going
in
to take
depth.
you to the next. He's going to take you to the next level
Beautiful.
because he actually explains how, basically, you know, the 12 disciples are
Mhm.
the 12 astrologers.
Houses of the
Yeah.
zodiac,
Yeah,
right?
houses
That's
of
what
the
Jordan
zodiac.
does.
Yeah.
Jordan explains all that too. So yes,
Yeah.
that's right up my alley.
Yeah, he does, but I would call Santos a tad more mystical.
Right, which is
Mhm.
I do love, and again, understanding it really is all about the precession of the equinox and really that large cycle, and that's what they
And people kind of turn their
use.
nose up at him, some sort of like flat Earth, and it's not
Yeah,
that simple.
I
He's
know.
not. He's not huge like that. He does go with that, you know, reality. We're in realm based reality, but he
Mhm,
also he keeps learning. He's
mhm.
learning about the plasma, and he really helped me see about the electromagnetic. I knew we were electromagnetic. It's just putting all the pieces together.
Well,
Mhm.
right. And once you realize science shows that, it is electromagnetism that is between atoms, like we really don't even physically touch the ground or the things it's all
Well,
electromagnetic
right.
energy.
Even their science tells us we would fit in all of humanity in a thimble or something. I mean,
Absolutely.
incredible.
Absolutely.
That's
I mean,
incredible.
it really is. See, those are the things that have always kept me wanting to know more. I didn't really know years ago I was going to end up finding out we're headed for hell like this. You know what I mean? I thought we had gotten, and again,
Yeah.
we all have our
I
times
don't
that we
think we
woke up, but,
have to.
never as a young age. I guess, you were obviously a while back, Sarah, but for me, I knew there was mysteries. I knew they were hiding stuff. I just figured, we as people would never let these secrets stay hidden. I was very naive as a kid, you know, learning
What
about, well,
wrong with you?
yeah, yeah,
Well, that was hard for me. I mean, even though I knew a part of me knew all my life, hell, I fell for a lot of the bullshit
yeah, yeah,
because
Mhm.
I didn't want to stand out to where I couldn't be around people. I gave up myself
right,
Yep.
right. And
I
because
hear you.
that's the whole
love.
point of being
I
here is
hear you.
finding that self. So I guess without going through this stuff, we wouldn't have done it.
Well,
Exactly.
I have a lot in my chart to where I'm, self-sacrificing and
Mhm.
Hmm.
uh, Earth Mother, Cancer,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and so. But what I did finally find out was that if you have to be alone to be you, then you have to be alone
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
or surrounded by very few people.
yeah,
Yep.
And
yeah.
and I'm at peace with that.
I am too, because that's
And I don't
that's the
want you to
choice.
think, I didn't participate in any of the bullshit, or
No,
I didn't. You
and
don't want to think that everybody would lie to you.
no,
I
and
mean,
I'm
there were a few
Mhm.
points that they just couldn't get me on, but I still believed them when they said certain things. You know,
yeah,
I
yeah,
sang my country tis of thee, and
sure.
I put my hand over my heart and pledged allegiance to a fucking cloth.
Yeah, to a piece of thinking that, we're saving, helping freedom and all that, even though I had all these uncles that died in Vietnam and,
Yeah.
learning
Mhm.
this part of the war was fucked up, like, from people as you got older. And then,
Well, I'll tell you something crazy was my granddaddy was a very, very smart man.
mhm,
He knew Latin. He was a naval
Mm.
aviator. He was just super effing sharp. I mean, smart.
mhm,
Well, I'm pretty convinced they took him out.
mhm,
'Cause my uncle was kind of high up and all this stuff, and we know how all that worked.
yeah,
Well, anyway, he ended up losing his voice box.
Mm.
This is how I figured out on a level. I didn't ever really admit it to myself till I woke up that I was a bit psychic. I'm not, nobody could come to me and I'll be like, okay, this is what's going to happen.
right.
Not
But
like
your
that.
intuition is strong with certain things.
What I can hear when, yes. So, and if you're connected to
Right,
someone, which
right,
I was then.
right.
So he's trying to write in his notebooks, right? To tell my mom, they invading us from within, and talking
Interesting.
about the communists, and they were. I
Hmm.
mean, and he could see it because he knew what he went and fought for.
Right.
He knew why he went to the Pacific Ocean,
Hmm.
and he knew why he was flying those planes, or why he was told he was doing it.
Right.
So then he starts seeing his children become hippies and, all this. And he's like, this is communism.
Hmm.
Well, I ended up hearing my damn granddaddy's. I could hear what he was saying inside because he didn't have a voice anymore.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
he told her all that stuff. So when I woke up, I had his strength with me, and that was really cool.
See, and that
Mm.
is interesting how, right, that's something only you that would made you that much stronger, that inside you're thinking, am I really
Mhm.
hearing this? Am I really, like, it's life, like you said, there's so much that we don't know about
Mhm.
why we go through what we go through, but then we can look back and realize, you know what, that's why. That that
Yeah.
that's
Right.
Yeah.
it is amazing,
Yeah.
and so listen, girls, I don't mean to, but I'm getting the evil eye from my son for his headphones, and from my wife who wants the bedroom back. Um,
Oh my God.
so I'm sorry, I got to cut it a little short. It's my fault because I was late, or we would have got our full 2 hours. But I was late. I stink.
All
So
right. Night, Tom.
good night, guys. So
Bye, Tom.
do you want to do this every Thursday, or something we'll just work out week to week? The day, it's up to you guys, because I know I'm the one
It's
that's
working for me fine.
okay. I mean, when I'm not late, me too, and holding you up.
Well, hey, just let us know if you have a conflict of interest.
I will. Well, I would have let you know a little earlier tonight if I didn't realize what time it was when I actually walked in the
That
door.
was no problem.
So,
Lisa and I just shot the shit until you came on.
oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay,
We
good.
love shooting the shit. It's
Good.
cool.
All right. Well, that's good. So,
Yeah.
all right, guys. Well, then we'll talk next week, and I'll of course be on Twitter. If and that one video, Sarah, if you would remember, um, the the one you're talking about, and I forget his name, John Cocteau
Sa-
Stone or whatever.
Santos.
That's from Fletch. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, that's him. Yes, yes, please, because that I want to start to understand a little more from that guy. It sounds very interesting. So thank you.
I will do it. I will
So
do it. Night,
good
Tom.
night, and thank you,
Good night,
Lisa. Good
Tom.
night.
You're
Bye
welcome.
bye. Good night. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Night,
Bye bye.
Lisa.
Bye.